Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm so happy you're here. Today I want to do more of an art tip practice type video. It'll be similar to the pear video if you saw that one. I think that one was super helpful because it showed you how to maybe use straight lines to draw the shape and then use a bigger brush. I ended up pulling out a bigger brush to help you paint faster and looser. And then the layers, it shows how the layers help build up the color and the subtle transparency of the colors. Anyway, let's do it again with the tomato. I've got a little baby, little baby tomato. These are flavor bombs. They're really good. They're really yummy. I don't have a big tomato in my house, but then I could take a photo and my camera, I kept trying to get it to focus closer. It's a little blurry. So we have a reference photo that we can use. And I probably already lost a bunch of you, probably already clicked off this video, but it's kind of like doing the scales when you practice piano. It's like when you're a kid and they made you, well, I don't know if they do this for kids anymore, but when I was a kid, you had lined paper and you practiced making your letter A and your letter B. And this time we'll play, it'll be like that pear video, but we're gonna play with different colors and see what they can do. And it can be relaxing and fun because there's no pressure. I mean, this is, it's not even a circle. It's kind of an oblong. No one's going to know. Tomatoes come in all different shapes and sizes. No one's going to know if we got it just like the photo. Okay, let's have some fun. Hey, we're at my art table. I've got my little tomato. So one of the things that's nice about having the real tomato versus my photo, so the photo is nice because it's got a highlight and it can show me, some of the shapes. And it's kind of hard to always hold the tomato in the same. Actually, you could set up a little still life and then draw the tomato, but as far as videoing for you guys to see. But the tomato is much more yellow and richer in color than what I can get out of my inkjet printer. So that's kind of nice. Okay, and then I'm using my Canson, is it Canson or Canson? I've heard other people say it differently. My mixed media paper. And I'm gonna look, oh, that's a shading, maybe I'll just flip through. Maybe you guys might like that real quick. So this is a video where we practice shading and shapes with colored pencil. I talk a little bit about gridding a photo and drawing. This is Hippie Crafter acrylic paints, really nice paints, some really vibrant colors. I did a swatch part of the video, and then the second half of the video is a fun poppy painting with a traceable, I think. I'm just talking about shading wet on wet, a little hint of clouds, a drawing video. I drew a Liquitex tuba paint, talk about drawing, talk about some simple mountains, light direction. There's the pear. That's what I was looking for. So we used mostly yellows. I think I picked up some red, oranges, and it really turned out neat. Oh, talking about purples. That video's posted more recently. Oh, and here I did two of these because I started painting this and my phone shut off. So I painted it again. Had to re-video that one. Oh, this one just posted. So I'm talking about vibrancy, color relationships, helping colors pop a bit more by what they're surrounded by neutrals. All right, yay. So there's a few art tip videos you might like. That was more show and tell than I planned on. Okay, let's draw our tomato. And I think I want to leave room for some leaves. Oh, and it's got a little bit, I put it upside down. So when I took the photo, I set it on top of here and just set it on my table and took a photo. So it's not totally flat. But you can see there's a little bit of a shadow. So this is where, when you're a beginner, you paint what you see. And then the more you paint what you see and you learn what colors you like, you learn little things that work well, some tips and tricks, and you start painting a little bit of what you also know. as you get better as an artist. And then you start painting, I think, to try and get what you want. Or drawing, or, you know, anything. So I'm going to give my tomato, I'm going to paint it as a square. Or let's draw a little square. Oh, and you could draw like with watercolor pencils. I just have a, you know, got it at an office supply store, Paper Mate. Oh, is that a mechanical pencil? So we could have done this with a pear, but I'm really going to do it with a tomato. Oh, and I'm going to grab some erasers. So I recently did a, I think this just went up a few days ago, this rooster video, and I drew it on the canvas. Let me know if you like seeing me draw, or it bores you to tears, because, you know, I've been using traceables, because I think a lot of you like the traceables so that you get the structure right, if you feel more comfortable. But just let me know what you like in the comments. Of course I can't please everybody, but the feedback is super helpful and I can try to mix it up. And then here's another simple landscape video that posted. And instead of worrying about all the leaves and the trees and everything, we just worked on a simple skies, simple ground and tree trunks. You might enjoy that one too. Okay, I'm into commercials today. The Leslee Troe YouTube channel commercial thing. I didn't really mean to do that. I just think you guys might like them. Okay. I might go outside my box a little bit. Let's just see how this looks. I may flatten my tomato out a little bit more than it is. Can you see? Oh yeah, you can see. So it has something to sit on. That's where you kind of paint more what you know than what you see. You can make it as round as you want. Well, and you can see I don't get it right. You know, I keep kind of adjusting. So the box helps me kind of get the size I want, the general size of the tomato. And then I notice that this comes up. So maybe we want to come up a little. And I would draw lighter if I were not drawing this on video. But if you have a light touch, even though it's kind of coming out darker, or you could get a harder pencil. Oh gosh, I'll have to look and see what video it is where I show the different pencil hardnesses. I have a few. You could use a harder pencil. It would draw lighter with a lighter touch. Well, I kind of like that. It has a little, because this tomato actually kind of goes up too if you wanted to adjust that a little bit. And that could just be the angle of the photo. But look, I'm not terribly round or smooth when I draw. I'm assuming this is helpful. I think art is a lot of problem solving. I think it's really good. I mean, not every kid or person wants to take art. There's plenty other things you can do to learn to problem solve, but it can be really helpful. And to not to worry so much about, you know, getting everything right, making mistakes. You get used to making a ton of mistakes. So I'm trying to decide how big I want this and talk. I'm trying to walk, talk, and chew bubble gum. Does anybody say that anymore? Do I want it there? Is it too far? So what I could do, oh, you can't see that. I don't know if I have any. Oh, I just sang. I did that too, I think, in the pear video when I, no, that doesn't really show either. It's red. There's another video where I think for the first time kind of sang. I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, there we go. We can see that. Just kind of give us a little A little reference. So I think I have my tomato lumpier, but you know what? It's going to grow when I paint it too. It's going to change shape a little bit. I don't know if I like having that tomato there. Stay. It's kind of like a dog. Sit. Okay, let's give us a little help here. Oh, it is kind of right there. Oh, I was over here. I don't know if you can see it. So that helps. And then you know what? We don't have to get these leaves just so. Let's kind of have one curl. We could even twist it a little bit. And then let's have one get thin. And then we probably need at least 3. But that's really blurry. That is not at all like my reference. So we just call that good and paint it and see what we think. You can always add more leaves. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I'm going to probably move this off because I'm thinking we're going to want to see colors. Can we do that? I don't know if I'm going to be able to mix. I think I might put a couple paper plates underneath it for a little support. Okay, and then I always like to lighten up what I draw. I think in the pear video, we ended up pretty much covering our pencil. Oh, you know what? I've been forgetting. I think I forgot it in the chicken and the birch tree video. I've been forgetting to write the word love on my paintings. That's an excellent way to start. I get so excited to share what I'm thinking with you guys. Okay. Get that on there. And then besides, hey, if you write love on your painting, we'll just say it's like athletes that have superstitions. You know, I don't know what they might be, but oh, I don't know, like a baseball player, you know, warming up with the bat so many times kind of thing. This will be our superstition for a good outcome for a painting. Okay. I don't know why I lightened that and I darkened it. Sometimes, so as you get to be, I talk to beginner painters. I know I don't have all beginner painters on my channel that subscribe and follow, but you can always, you know, fast forward, turn off the volume, whatever you want to do. That's what's so cool about YouTube. Okay, I'm going to put out some red because it's a tomato. I'm assuming we'll need it. And I'm going to put out yellow because, as I mentioned, you can use white to lighten up, but I think it'll look richer and yummier if we use yellow. And I don't know if you can see that against the white paper and on the video. And actually where the shine is, it does go a little pink, but we don't have to get that exact. And I actually don't know if I put out enough paint. Maybe I want to put out a little more paint. And I'm going to put out some quinacridone because it mixes better purples with my ultramarine blue that I'm going to use. And you can see that in my purple video. Or my purple video. I think it's purple. It's where I paint some swatches I just showed you a little bit ago. And where's my blue? Ah, just got dried paint. I say this I think in every video, but please use whatever colors you have. If you have a hooker's green and you want to use that for your leaves, go ahead. I think sometimes, like I watch other artists and I think it's helpful to see how they do it. You might pick up a tip that you might want to use yourself. I think artists have always learned from other artists, and then you weave it into your own style, own preferences, all that kind of stuff. I can't get the lid on. Okay. Okay, and then let's mix. Now that palette knife might be too big. And then, should we use, I think I used this brush in the pear video. All right, I think we're ready to roll. Where do we want to start? Let's start with the tomato. Let's start with some lighter color. So there you can see, there's an excellent tip right there, how strong the red is compared to the yellow. So what you can do also, I'm going to clean off my knife just because that's one of the things I do. I kind of get everything decently clean, and then I clean the brushes and palette knives when I'm done painting. Here, should we use this brush? Let's use the big one. So one thing you can do, I'm getting my my brush a little wet and adjusting. Here, I wonder if I could put that on top of there. Adjusting my paper towels and things. You could grab a little yellow straight up and grab a little of your, I'm looking for my reference photo. Okay, so we're gonna say our highlight is over here. We're just gonna paint. Well, that's kind of pretty how it dry brushed and pulled out. See, okay, so this is already fun for me. And it's probably way too light, but I'm doing that on purpose because it'll be easier to make it darker. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna want to turn my paper, but I don't think I can. I mean, I could, but I've got so many things sitting here. And then let's grab a little straight up red. So sometimes if you have a big brush, just grab the paint on the corner. And I think pulling is easier than pushing, but you can push. It's not like you can't. So I'm just lightening that. We'll see if we like it. If you don't like it, oh, I just went over my leaf there. You can always change it. So my brush is a little funny shaped. And I've already gone over my line that I had for my tomato. I'm going to grab a little water. So painting on paper, the paint dries quicker than if it's a gesso canvas. And then if it's a gesso canvas with a layer of paint on it, oh, I think I've mentioned in a couple of videos, if you've got a wrapped canvas, you can mist the back of it with some water to help your paints dry slower. So normally I would turn my paper here, turn my canvas. If it's a big canvas, just flip it on the easel. Oh, hopefully my hair wasn't in the video there. So I'm just thinking roundness of the tomato. Boy, I want to turn it bad. Maybe I will. Oh yeah, that feels so much better for me. Turn it to what feels comfortable to you. And you can use a smaller brush. It's not like you have to. I'm gonna need more yellow. So I'm getting over to my lighter side, so I wanna grab more yellow. I like Liquitex. Oh, is that on camera? I like Liquitex because you can stand them on their caps. Okay. And then you don't need to like figure out a hanging system or a storage system, and it keeps the paint down at the end. I also like it. They may have been, oh gosh, well, I don't know if this is true, but they may have been the original or first acrylic paint company. For artists, maybe not. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on where that line is. Maybe not like for house paint or whatever, but. So I think the yellow is really yummy to lighten up the tomato compared to white, but you could lighten it up with white. For a lot of things, like in landscapes and flowers, can really help you. I think a lot. Sorry, I'm stumbling because not everybody likes the same thing. But I think a lot of people like. I'm getting a lot of paint on here. I'm gonna have to dry this with a hairdryer. Like yellow. All right, I'm gonna flip. Alrighty, I'll be back. I'm gonna dry this with a hairdryer. All right, let's mix a purple. You can watch I'll put a link in the description if you want to see the difference between the reds and the quinacridone. And this is Ultramarine blue-green shade. But I think in general, the magentas in my opinion, make better purples with most blues. And I don't have every blue, every brand, so you'll have to test it. Than the reds. But please leave a comment and let me know your experience with your colors, because then I learn too. So you could mix a green for the shadow, which would be fun because that's the complement of red. But that's not much purple, and I don't know how much I'm gonna need. And when you use a big brush, you go through more paint. But that's just part of painting. I'm trying to see if I want that a little darker. Alrighty. So I can play. One of the things I enjoy doing is I can play with mixing colors and getting it a smidge warmer. So a smidge warmer might be more magenta or even a little bit of yellow. Cooler would be adding more blue, it'd be darker. Okay. So I'm gonna grab just a little. You can tell I want to turn my So drying it with a hairdryer is like saving a file you're working on your computer. It's just like saving it. And it may not be dry enough. It may want to lift up on me. We'll see what happens here. Do we want... And so I can just grab some red if I'm scared about how dark that is. If I don't like it, you can kind of work up to it. So you can we could have started with a more medium value tomato, and you work up to your lights and darks. Just sneak up on it, walk up on it. Trying to figure out the best phrase that makes the most sense to you. Well, that's kind of looking pretty. I don't like how I'm getting some brush strokes there. So I'm going to maybe just take some red and try and smooth it out. Take some yellow and red. And I kind of try to, actually what might help is if I go and try and lift up, smooth it out. And we're getting a little more depth. Oops, and we're getting too light. I want it a little darker down here. So let's see if we can still do it if the purple will let us. So I grab a little purple. Sometimes you just have to stop, let it dry, and then fix it if it starts to pull up. Well, that's looking rounder, don't you think? Okay, I'm gonna rinse out my brush and let's work on the leaves so the tomato can dry. I think, gosh, I want to say every, but every is such a dangerous word. I think every painting I do, especially big ones, I work in sections. You know, a section at a time. And then to unify the painting, oh, I don't know if this really shows it. Oh, it kind of does. So I've got some warm value there, and then I'll put the warm value in other places to just help you unify the painting. And then, you know, let it dry and then maybe add some white highlights at the end, that kind of thing. But just because it dries quick on you doesn't mean all is lost. And then I rarely do, oh, here, this pops to mind. So in some of the beginning acrylic painting groups I'm in on Facebook, they want a super smooth blend, and I get that. But I would almost suggest using an airbrush. If you want it that smooth, I let some of the brush strokes show. I let it catch some of the canvas. I don't know if you can see it. There you can see where it's catching some of the canvas texture. I'm not looking for a super smooth. And then it's less frustrating for me. I don't know if this one shows. Oh yeah, so you can see where I've even come back. So you can watch this video. I've got the background painted, and then I come back and I change and add some more color to the background. One, because I've got some charcoal lines I needed to cover up. And two, because it adds a little bit more interest. Okay, hopefully I'm not getting too... this is more of an art tips video rather than a watch me how I paint this video. So hopefully that's helpful and not too much. I just say, I don't have scripts. I pretty much say what pops into my head. I suppose that's kind of dangerous. Okay, I just wash up my brush decently so it doesn't get ruined. I'm going to use a much smaller brush. I like these little 1/4 inch. I think it's a number 4. It's totally rubbed off. It's a Royal Langnickel. Oh, this is a Lowell Cornell brush. Oops, and we got to make some green. Make a little green. Grab just a pinch of blue. Can you see that? Am I on camera? Yay. And so I had a little orange in there, but it did not concern me. If anything, it'll just mute the green down a little bit. Red would mute it down more because it's the complement. Complement means opposite the color wheel. So red and green are opposite the color wheel. Yellow and purple are opposite. I might make a little more just because it's going to be easier for me. Did I say yellow and purple? Blue and orange? I don't know where I left off. I have a color wheel somewhere I could pull out. I should buy one. I just print them off. I just Google color wheel and screenshot one that looks good. Or sometimes they even have them for free to download. Oh, and you don't have to mix it up that well. I just kind of get into a zone. That could be one of your things where you don't mix your colors much completely, and then you get wonderful little streak and Bob Ross happy accidents in them. Let's paint a little of this. Oops, that's getting kind of messy. It's because I want to. So I like to work, oh, here, maybe I can. I'm laughing at myself being all awkward. Is that in camera? In frame, I think is what they say. I like to work up against the edge. So I'm not even looking really at my reference photo right now. Because I want this leaf to be behind this one. And that's just a personal choice. And then I'm just laying down, I'm gonna grab some yellow. Oh, here, let me show you this. And then you can grab some white. And it'll, if you do both, I think the color stays a little bit yummier. That's just a personal preference. And that's really a contrast, more than I want. And then you can paint with, oh, actually I want to put some of that white down here because the white will cover the red better, and then we can come back and darken it. The white is much more opaque, and then the green with the white in it is much more opaque. Opaque meaning not transparent, and the red doesn't show through it. So all I'm doing is just getting some color down. So we kind of know where we're going. Oops. I think we're gonna leave that happy accident. You can use a filbert. I think I was going to say that a minute ago. If you don't like a flat. They call them shaders. They call them brights. For those of you who, I don't know if it varies if each brush company considers a shader the same thing. I'm not a brush expert. Oops. I think I've got too much blobby paint. So when it's lifting up, let's just let it dry. All right, let's just take some of our green. I want to darn it. But I'm assuming it's more enjoyable for you guys if it's upright when I do most of the painting. But look, it's not like I'm all that skilled. I don't know if that sounds funny to you guys, but it's layers, it's patience, it is knowing how to draw, knowing practice painting, you know, and then not, I don't know. I mean, you can be, this isn't a terribly ugly stage, but well, there's something I don't know if I've talked about much. Paintings go through ugly stages or rough stages. Sometimes, like when I do a pet portrait, it's more than blocking in because I really nail down the shapes and I get close to the values, and then I go back and refine it even more. But it's still not nearly as good as when I'm done. And many, like in a pet portrait, oh gosh, I would think most areas have 3 layers. The eyes would have more. You know, that kind of shows, you know what we could do to make this sort of twist? Let's see if I can get in there and do it. I'm painting with the corner a little bit. Really, if I get in there with a little brush, I can probably get it better. See how the dark makes it flip a little? That's kind of fun. Oh, do we need my tomato up here? Let's name the tomato. What should we call it? Oh, I need a name for that chicken. A title for the chicken painting I showed you a little bit ago. Okay, that's doing weird things, and I don't know why. So maybe, oh, that's not dry. Maybe we'll get out the hair dryer. and do a little save as here, and I'll be back. Had a thought while I was using the hair dryer. It's kind of like you have your best thoughts when you're taking a shower or driving your car. If you want a softer looking tomato, we could pretty much be done. And even maybe soften that up. Well, I think I would add a little more paint to this, but you actually don't have to. It could be done. If you want more drama, which I think we're going to go for in a highlight, we have a highlight here in the reference photo. I'm going to put it up here because I just like it up there. If you want more highlight or more drama, you add highlight and even darker. Oh, you know what? You should maybe start putting in a shadow, just so we can see how that looks. Trees are straight up. Oh, I like to mix color. Let's put a little blue in it. But I hope using the primaries and sort of out of the tube helps you learn, take the pressure off. Because like on this one, I used lime green, cad red medium, and prism violet. And then I just had a sort of a muted puddles to get these interesting colors. I think it turned out really fun. And actually, I was trying to figure out how to get some straight up lime green in here, because I do have some straight up prism violet and cad red, but I liked it how it was, so I decided not to. Maybe we can paint it again and compare it. Oh, shadow. Like, what am I painting? Maybe we want to start out, not sure how dark we want our shadow. So we're going to give our tomatoes something to sit on. And I'm not following well, maybe we will. Let's follow that. I need more real estate on my table. Can we do this? Pull it down a little bit. That might work for now. Okay. So let's kind of find it. Is that straight? Everything's kind of kitty-wampus for me here. Oh, do people say that anymore? I don't even know what that means, other than crooked. I mean, where it came from. So I'm just kind of scrubbing. On the paper, it's almost like watercolor. You can paint acrylics very much like watercolor on paper. You can't lift it up, but you can get some pretty washes. Kind of like that. Oops, excuse me, I have such a dirty brush here. So all I'm thinking is maybe, I'm already doing a layer lighter out there. And then so you see how I'm kind of like almost sketching? That's easier. Here, let's see if I can do it. Hopefully I felt my hair hit the phone. Hopefully my hair wasn't in the way. That can be easier than trying to draw I still can't do it. It's not bad. Draw a line. Just kind of make it in little teeny strokes. And if you get your brush sharp enough to a point, sometimes you can, like I did there, I really got it to be thin. Okay, so I offloaded the paint on my brush, and I'm just gonna kind of, oops, kind of blend that out. It's kind of scrubbing. That's what's nice about the paper, is it really soaks into the paper and it doesn't lift up as much as it would on a canvas. All right, how crooked are we? And does it matter? We're practicing. Oh, that probably should come out Should that come out? Let me look through the... Of course, this is just for you guys to get the idea. Well, if you have multiple light sources, you're going to have multiple shadows, or shadows that kind of have different shapes in them. If that makes sense. Oh, and I've heard other artists talk about this. Gosh, and I bet they talked about it like in my college art classes. I'm just blending that in to make it look like it belongs. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the word. It's a living shadow. It's not just black. Now I could come back and add more blue. I could, use black. Should we make it more dramatic? I could use a different brush that I'm more comfortable with, like a liner brush. So then I'm just kind of pulling out from using the corner. I think I'm running out of paint. And I'm going to offload the paint. Oops. Let's just grab... Oh, my paints are drying. It's really hot in my studio. I've got fans running. So you can see it's drying fast on me. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Just, you kind of have to, what is it like? It's just, well, if I say it's the nature of the beast, it sounds like it's a big bad beast. It's not oil paint, but that's actually what I like about it. I don't have to wait. I got a lot of paint on here. I don't have to wait weeks for this painting to dry. It may cure on paper in 2 days. You can go back the next day and take a little water and see if it lifts up. Oh, after I said it wouldn't lift up, it does a little bit. And see if it's cured. I could easily varnish this next day. All right, let's play with a little reflective light. So I don't know if you can see it with the camera angle, and I can't tell looking at it. But so the darkest area is right here that I can see, and there's actually a little bit of lighter area because the light bouncing off the paper is coming up onto the tomato, and the shadow's actually right here, the darkest shadow. You can't see it. My printout's not that great. So a lot of times we've already got it kind of going on. There's reflective light bouncing back from whatever this is sitting on. I did it in the pear video too, if you want to check that out. And I probably should switch back to my bigger brush. Oh, I think that looks kind of yummy. This is where I wish you were here, with one-on-one teaching. I could say, okay, what do you want to see? Do you want me to go down to a smaller brush? Do you want me to do this painting, all with a huge brush? If we did this with that big brush I had, which I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Got buried. You would paint with the corner. Should we switch to a smaller one? Just for giggles. It's a 1/2 inch. It's a not very well loved Simply Simmons flat shader, and I don't know if you can see it. It's even starting to bow. I have not taken care of this brush. I should apologize to it. Okay, so let's take a little white, because we've just been using yellow. Actually, I'm going to add a little yellow because I think we're going to go bigger highlight down to smaller highlight. If that makes sense. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, that gives it like a little, because of the white in there, that gives it like a little a wetness or a shine to it. And brush stroke direction matters, just like if you're painting fur. Well, that's kind of pretty. I kind of want to grab some straight up red. Oh, no, I don't. I can see the paper showing through, so I'm just adding a little orange. And honestly, gosh, I like this brush size a little better. The big one gets a little awkward for me. Oops, I don't know if I want that color. Let's grab some red. Ooh, I don't know if you can, I hope you can see on the video, but that looks yummy. So here's where layers help you. And I've changed my shadow shape. Ooh, I think that looks yummy. And hopefully this video isn't getting too long. I'm starting to get worried. My average video watch time is 6 minutes, and I think I think we're over that. If you're still with me, thank you. Oh, if you're still with me, oops, I just picked up some green. We just got a flaw in our video, or on our tomato. I think I'll just paint it out. So we can scrub it out. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was watching YouTube creator videos, you know, how to be a YouTuber that YouTube puts out. I'm kind of changing, I kind of made a mistake there, so now I'm messing up what I did. Apparently YouTube pays attention to how many likes a video gets. So if you've been with me this long, I'm finally getting the sentence out here, hit the like button. That really helps us. We really appreciate it. Okay, so I just messed up everything I did there. But that is okay. Because now we have more depth of color. So some white, some red, some yellow. Just because I don't want too pink right now, just yet. Just because I'm sort of sneaking up on the highlight. Kind of like how I snuck up on that shadow. I started sort of with a medium value, made it lighter out here, and then I made it darker in there. You don't have to work that way. I just like it. And see, I won't like maybe how a brush stroke ends. Oh, that's pretty. Now we're getting to the fun part, and I actually like that, even though I said I was gonna put the highlight up there. That's pretty. So, okay, here's where you probably should stop. Artists say, how do you know when you're done and when should you stop? I'm gonna mess with it. Just saying, probably should stop. You know, y'all should go, stop, Annie, stop. Okay, we're gonna call it good. All right, I think this video is getting long. Should we play a little bit with more with the leaves and call it good? All right, so I'm just kind of rinsing out my brush. And you could, if you like a smoother edge tomato less arty looking, you could make this much more smooth. Use a smaller brush, you can control it better. Not for everybody, because you know, you can certainly paint a very realistic painting, realistic tomato with a big brush, completely with a big brush. But generally for most people, smaller brush will help you have more realism and a tighter painting, and a bigger brush will help you have a looser painting. Okay, so let's get, should we put a little yellow? And we could darken the shadow too, but I think this video is getting long. And you guys are seeing what the colors do in real time, which I think is awesome. I hope it helps you. I hope it's fun. I mean, my tomato isn't perfect. Oh, this is a #1. Oh, it's a Simply Simmons round. We could put some red up in there. Probably should, since I said it. Should we just grab a little? My puddle dried. The more paint you put out, the longer it'll stay wet. You can sometimes kind of, like I'll take a palette knife and just cut in a little bit of water to help it stay wet a little longer. You know, mist it every once in a while, that'll help. Mist it and then put another plate on top of it and stick it in a gallon baggie, or just stick something heavy on it, and it'll act a little bit like a terrarium. Sometimes the paint will get a little bit more moist. Okay. I repeat myself, but gosh, as far as I can tell, not everybody watches all the videos in order, you know? You would watch the ones you want to. Okay, so do I like that? Not sure I even like it. Of course, I'm being kind of, grabbed a little green, I'm being a little stingy with it. I don't know if that makes sense, because if we're painting a straight up tomato, I mean, you can get away with it. Value is more important than the color. But I license my art on things, on products, and they typically, I mean, it's just going to sell well. People think of leaves as being green, you know? We got a little hint of red in there. I don't know if I mind that. Well, if it's like the rooster, I've got a purple and red rooster I painted. So you can push the colors as far as you like. Okay, now I'm just kind of playing, just making a darker, but not too dark green. I'm going to tone that down just a smidge. Oh, here, if we want some drama, actually I'll put a little blue there. And then grab, you can let it dry, you can do it while it's wet. Just kind of blend that shadow in a smidge. I kind of like that. I kind of like the drama. I'm just softening it a little bit with a little more green. So that's where if you're painting with a brush like this, you can get real detailed. I haven't used my white much. And you don't have to use the same colors. You can come in there with a little bit of a change. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Probably because I'm trying to think and talk. My voice changed. Oops. Hopefully my head's not in the way. Oh, so I was talking to favorite daughter today. She came over for a little bit. And we're talking about what to do for the lives. You know, the first live, I don't know that hardly anybody will know. Well, I suppose we can maybe advertise it a little bit. I was thinking maybe, I don't know if anybody's going to show up. You know, this is what I should do, is paint something like a tomato or draw a shoe, or and then I'm assuming you guys would try it afterwards and maybe hang out in the chat and we all get to know each other. She was going to help me with the chat. I think it'd be fun to get her on camera too, but we only have my phone right now. I suppose we have her phone. Figure out how to. Should we just call this good? I could keep painting and painting. You know, lightening, darkening the values. I could make this twist up here. Okay, now chubby checker, do the twist is in my head. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy or something. Maybe I am. I like to have fun. I hope this is fun for you and you learn a little something too. It's helpful. Okay, I think we'll call that good. I don't know how long this video is getting. Favorite daughter needs to be able to upload it. I'll get it closer. Here's my palette closer. I don't usually do that. Here's the tomato closer. Oops, I got something hanging down. Hang on a second. Okay, guys, there's a screenshot. Yay! My tomato needs a name. I hope this was super helpful for you. I really enjoy painting it. It's just relaxing. It's fun. I can kind of see how the colors are going to work together. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm really excited to connect with you guys. I've gotten to know some of you, and that's really fun. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.